everybody. Happy Tuesday. We're having a live stream of Palooza over here. I'm doing this today. This evening at 5:30, we're going to do the Death on the Nile watch-along. And then tomorrow, of course, at 3 a.m., we're going to watch the first episode of Moon Knight. I know that I didn't love the rest of Moon Knight, but this first episode is something else. I'm very excited to see it again and to watch it with many of you. All right, so I promised you some tea during this episode, and tea I shall deliver. But first, let me say hi to some new members. If you join during a live stream, you will get a shout out. Hey, Devin. Hey, Matthew. Let's see here. Who else joined? Ezra Prince, another Ezra. And Rohan used his once a month comment to say he was back, and I love it. Welcome back. And hey, Tyler, thank you for joining. So I decided to do this stream because, I do a live stream three times a week, but I was kind of annoyed with some of the comments about the tea I tweeted last night about Ezra Miller's situation. So I was like, I better explain this a little better, all right? I can't explain everything because it's a delicate, sensitive situation, and some of the things are personal for Ezra Miller, and I wouldn't feel comfortable talking about them. But I just, I think there's some stuff to add here. Hey, Carolina. Hey, Paul Porkchop. That's great. You guys are great. All right, so let's get started. We have some very interesting stories, once again, to cover. All right, so hold on. I got to boop us in. Boop. All right, so yes, yesterday, or it seems Monday night, Ezra Miller was arrested in Hawaii at a karaoke bar, and a lot of people did some karaoke jokes about it. People felt that it was just Ezra Miller being mischievous, as he has been for many, many years, and people didn't think it was that serious a situation. I also think that it does not benefit, and also I think it makes it seem a little bit sillier that it happened so close to Will Smith. It's like celebrities losing their minds. So that kind of creates this weird situation. And I had tweeted last night, because, I was finally able to tell you this because the arrest kind of makes it fair game, that part of the reason The Flash was delayed for so long was because of some issues with Ezra Miller. And I got a couple of, pushback, especially from Snyderverse fans, who were like, Warner Brothers used the Speed Force to go back in time and see that he was going to get arrested, so they delayed the movie weeks ago. And there's also some really unfortunate rumors that are going around about that the Flash is delayed for reshoots, and we'll talk about that too, because that's just simply not true. That's just people trying to sell you on a fantasy for clicks. And I find it very frustrating. I've always kept it real with you. And I've always been honest with you. I was the first person to tell you, the first person, that wasn't a fan, that the Snyderverse had a real chance of, the Snyder Cut had a real chance of coming back. It's not about being a fan or loyalty. It's about, I'm an entertainment reporter and I'm reporting you the news. So some of you seem to act as if I am the one creating the news, and I appreciate that. That's very complimentary. Hey, Dre Films. But, if I felt that there was that's why I told you right away that Batfleck wasn't dying. As soon as I heard that, I was like, I better tell everyone. I better keep it real. I better keep people, up to date with what I'm hearing. And so that's why I told you that. All right, so let me kind of go through this, and I'm being very careful. And I hope that you'll understand and appreciate that. So you're going to have to read between the lines on some of this stuff. All right, so yes, definitely VFX played a hand in the delay of the DCEU movies. For sure. I mean, James Wan even spoke to that. These movies are like, as we've said before, practically animated movies in many ways. So they have a lot of VFX work, and they just weren't going to be ready by the end of the year. But The Flash's delay all the way to June 2023 and going in last place all of a sudden really puzzled a lot of us. Even if you go back and watch my video about the delay, we were all kind of like, that seems to make absolutely no sense. I told you that Shazam needed to go first before Aquaman and The Flash, and it now is. But Flash really, from a story perspective, Flash had to go before Aquaman and Batgirl. Because, Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton, of course, and The Flash is the movie that brings him over. So he can't show up in any other DCEU property, until the Flash movie comes out. Now, Warner Brothers has not revealed what they're going to do about Batgirl. That's just a mess. So we'll see what they decide. That seems to have some kind of continuity change because, Batman seems to have been around when Barbara was a child, and it's, J.K. Simmons is Commissioner Gordon, is Gordon. So we'll see what they decide to do with Batgirl, because that would be like a whole year delay for them, or a couple of, so, I don't know, June is 6 months. So Batgirl would have to have like 7 or 8 month delay, which is pretty crazy. But the reason, I'll give you some tea, the reason that it's a bummer for the Flash is that I did hear that the Flash, for Aquaman, I'll give you some tea. Aquaman was supposed to have a scene where Michael Keaton showed up and talked to Aquaman as Bruce Wayne. Which I would have loved to have seen. Maybe it'll end up being an end credit scene on The Flash, but I hear that it's going to have to be taken out of Aquaman now, because how would you come and see him if the Flash movie hasn't come out yet? So that's a bummer, and I'm sure that Warner Brothers didn't want to do that, because that connected tissue is what really helps these movies. So that kind of sucks that they're not going to have that cool Easter egg, which would have launched a gabillion YouTube videos and articles in the movie. It's just a shame. So the VFX are certainly a factor. So I think The Flash would have been delayed, but not for as long as it's being delayed, because what really is going on here, and a large part of it, is Ezra Miller's personal issues. Now, Ezra Miller has always had problems. Sometimes he's a rascal, he's a rascally guy. It's part of his charm. And I have to say, I think he really redeemed himself with the Snyder Cut. He was excellent in that version of the film. He did a really great job, and he made a lot of us excited for his Flash again. We were really, really excited about it. But behind the scenes, he's a difficult person. Now, a lot of celebrities are difficult. So I think that's one of the reasons that Warner Brothers decided to soldier on. And they're very heavily invested in Ezra Miller because, of course, he's in the Fantastic Beasts movies as well. He campaigned to be in both those movies because he's such a big fan of the material. Now, things suddenly, though, have gotten serious for Ezra Miller. So this isn't his being a rascal or being difficult. There's a lot of concern. All I want to say is that there's concerns for Ezra's mental health and safety. So I don't feel comfortable, and I wish that, because, people don't know, but people making jokes about him being arrested and stuff, it doesn't vibe with what I think a lot of people in the industry know, and that Ezra Miller is having problems. Basically, before that, I don't want to give too much of a timetable away, but let's just say before the announcement was made, Ezra Miller basically decided that he wanted to be left alone by everyone, including Hollywood. And so he's not doing Fantastic Beasts press, I don't believe. I mean, never say never, but I believe some of you pointed out the premieres this evening. And Warner Brothers really needs some time I think to have Ezra Miller get to a good place and to be able to have him be the lead on a press tour for a major movie. So that's why it's really frustrating that people are like, oh, they're reshooting the movie. They're not reshooting the movie. The Batfleck not being dead, that's a tease probably in there so you don't turn on the movie. It's probably engineered so that you don't turn on the movie. The movie's wrapped. They wanted to do a couple of pickups just, to make themselves happy, like to be on a Perfectionists. But obviously that can't happen now because Ezra Miller doesn't want to participate. But the movie has no problems. The Flash is not in a bad situation as a movie. The Flash is doing great. I've heard nothing but great things about it. It's very exciting. It ushers in a new age. I think the footage that they've shown looks fantastic. I hear, interestingly enough, it deals with mental illness and mental health. So to some degree, I think maybe that would tie in with what Ezra Miller's going through if he can get to a place where he can talk about it. But the problem is really with Ezra Miller, not Warner Brothers having the uncertainty of what he's going to do, either to others or himself. And you can see that he was arrested, which is really it's concerning for him, and it's not great news for the movie from a publicity standpoint. And then also, I think they want to, coax him back to promote The Flash, to do a multiple week-long press tour, which requires you to be in really good shape mentally. And of course, they don't want to put him through something that he can't handle. They have a responsibility to him. So I think that one of the reasons I don't think this is going to affect Fantastic Beasts at all, because Fantastic Beasts is not his movie. So I think that's not an issue. But I think that that's one of the reasons that Warner Brothers moved the film so far back, so that they would have space to deal with this, I think, in a good way. And I'm sure they wish that he had not been arrested. And I hope that, I've seen some stuff on Reddit about, people talking about interacting with him. I think that people just, as Dre Films just pointed out, it's a really delicate situation. And so I think it's important to give Ezra Miller some space, and I think it's important to give Warner Brothers some space so that everybody can just kind of handle this the way that needs to be done. Because I'm rooting for the Flash movie. I think it looks really interesting. I really like Ezra Miller in the role after seeing the Snyder Cut. And I just hope that this can all work out. But that's what's happening. That just gives you a little bit of flavor. Ezra Miller isn't throwing a tantrum. I think it's really important not to categorize it that way. He's going through, I think if you knew what he was going through, you would totally understand it. But again, I don't think that's anybody but Ezra's to share. And I hope that Warner Brothers can get him to do an interview about it and to tell people about what's going on so that he can help himself, but also help other people who are going through similar situations. Like everybody laughed about that thing where he said he was hunting the KKK. But I do know that concerned a lot of people in his circle because they felt that, he was, it was more evidence that he's not doing well. So I think just, Ezra Miller's mental breakdown is not entertainment. And it shouldn't be viewed that way. Now, some of you have brought up that he is on camera, getting physical with somebody, right? But I think we don't totally know the story there. And that's a good transition into the Will Smith situation because I was very upset. Let's go to Will Smith here. I was very upset that Will Smith, they're circulating that footage of that, of him on the red carpet with press. And, he did kind of like lightly slap a reporter, but that was not a reporter. That was a prankster who had somehow gotten onto red carpets in Europe and was trying to make himself famous by putting celebrities in very uncomfortable situations. In this case, the reporter, it's being said the reporter tried to kiss him on the cheek because that's a European greeting. That's not what it is. If you actually watch the video, you can see that reporter got him in like a headlock. He made it look like it was a hug, which Will Smith was very nice to, go along with. And then that guy tried to kiss him on the mouth without Will Smith's permission. And I think that Will Smith handled that as best anyone could under the circumstances. I think that guy also did the same thing. Maybe I think it was Brad Pitt, but there was if you were following entertainment news at the time, that prankster was a real problem, and he was getting onto sets. Maybe it was Tom Cruise, but he was it was really bad. He was he was a problem. So I don't think it's fair to use that against Will Smith. Will Smith, what's so crazy about Will Smith's situation is that everybody just keeps talking about this. But I think that Will Smith, we've never seen him act this way before in a role or in real life, in his personal life. And this guy's been a public figure for like 3 decades. So it's really crazy to see like almost a switch being flipped. Now, I would hope that Will Smith could navigate his way out of this. And yesterday, I talked about that he potentially could. But been very disappointed since yesterday's stream to see things going very poorly. Just to see Will Smith really making more mistakes. Obviously not as bad as what his original mistake was, but certainly mistakes that are harmful to him. Hey, Kit Kat. He last night he released an Instagram apology, and I feel that Instagram apologies they come across as insincere. I think that what he did was so incredible. And probably one of the most, it could be like a game changer for society. It's like there's so much stuff, and I think that's also the reasons you're seeing such pushback with people being like, this can't be the new normal. We can't have physical altercations. And I think that's understandable. But so I think as Dan said, he needs to make a video. I think to not see Will Smith, to not hear Will Smith apologize after we viscerally saw the offense, makes it not at the same level. Also, I feel him dancing at the after party. The more I think about it, the more it seems like he's not sorry and he didn't learn his lesson. I feel like maybe he should have gone home. He should have apologized more sincerely with his acceptance speech. But it's just, every chance he has to. It was to his own track, Jerome. As Jerome said, yeah. I mean, we're talking about someone, by the way, who was famous for not swearing in his music because he said he didn't want to be that kind of a role model. I mean, that's just crazy. And then this is who he is now. I don't understand it. But in addition to a not really great apology, Richard Williams released a statement last night. And I think Richard Williams had to do this because Will Smith made the mistake of trying to use Richard Williams as a scapegoat. Saying, I did that because, like Richard Williams, I'm passionate about protecting my family. And Richard Williams came out very strongly last night through his son and released a statement saying that physical violence is never okay unless in self-defense. And he did not say anything in Will Smith's defense. And I thought that was pretty damning. I was like, that's really bad. And in fact, I can't believe that Will Smith's team didn't coordinate with Richard Williams to try and make sure that didn't happen. So hey Caleb Scott, so for Richard Williams to break with Will Smith and his camp is a very big deal. Now, another big deal is that not only is the Academy investigation, yes, Heinz Adventures, Richard Williams is still alive, but I don't believe that he is in the shape that he can make a public appearance, which is why you haven't been seeing him in any of the King Richard events and why he made the statement through his son. But he's still alive, which I think is wonderful. I think dragging the Williams family into that was not a good call. Hey, Tarlos. And I understand them wanting to extricate themselves from the narrative. But in addition to the Academy investigating Will Smith, as they announced yesterday, it was also announced after yesterday's stream that SAG, the Screen Actors Guild, is going to be investigating Will Smith as well. That's even more serious. A suspension from the Academy just means he can't vote and can't go to the Oscars for a few years. A SAG suspension would mean he could not work because Hollywood films and television shows are union. And if he was not SAG certified, he would not be able to do any work. He would not be able, certainly not anything that was a union gig. And I think for him to be penalized and then cross the picket line would be really bad. So that's very, very serious. And we'll see how these decisions come down. We'll see what the Academy and SAG decide to do. But SAG's a big deal. SAG's a really big deal. But I think people want to make sure, as I said, that this never happens again. And I don't think that Will Smith is doing a good enough job to make sure that message gets across himself. I don't understand it. I really feel that he needs an interview, and I think that William Jones says, I'm sorry about the way people talk about Ezra versus the way they speak about Will is not cool. You have compassion. But who are you saying people have? I mean, I've seen a lot of people defending Will Smith. And I guess, there is I think people don't understand about the Ezra. I think people don't understand what's going on with Ezra. I think they just think he's being silly. But yeah, I think Will Smith needs to sit down and talk to someone. I think audiences need to feel, the people need to feel they're looking him in the eyes. I think, a real apology is to sit down and talk to someone and look them in the eye and apologize. And it better not be on Red Table Talk, or that's the end of both Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith. And by the way, Jada Pinkett Smith also isn't helping because she put out a cryptic Instagram post about being a time for healing. I mean, who would be cryptic at a time like this? Who wouldn't just, hey, Rashad, who wouldn't be like, for the love of God, this went really poorly. Let's please move on. So, hey, MSI Dragon. There are a lot of really interesting stories about what went down, that Chris Rock tried to apologize during the telecast, during a commercial break, that there's a lot of people supporting Chris Rock, I think, which is understandable as well. Frosty Salt, if you don't know what Red Table Talk, Red Table is Jada Pinkett Smith's talk show on Facebook, which of course is where she infamously revealed her or confirmed her affair, cheating on Will Smith. And that meme of Will Smith crying that everybody uses all the time, that's him having to sit through that episode. I feel bad for him, but yet I don't understand why he's not doing the very clear things to help himself. I feel like it's becoming, I think that he's getting less sympathetic. He definitely did something wrong, but I think there was some sympathy for him. But I think that he's losing whatever ground he had to stand on the longer this goes on. Hey, Brendan Miller, what do you guys think? Do you think that Will Smith, now that we're like a little over 24 hours over this, how do you think it's going? Do you think that he can turn this around? And the longer he waits to do an interview, the less it's going to mean. He should do an interview a week. He should have already announced it. He should have announced that interview yesterday, and it should have been for Friday or Sunday night. I see some of you feel that he would turn it around. Some of you do that in a hopeful way, and some of you are in a cynical way. And some of you agree with me that he's got to go fast. But some people, I think he's definitely going to bring down his box office numbers. Is Will Smith still a 4-quadrant star after this? That's like a very important question. I think that there will be people who will always go see his work, but it's just think about that. This was supposed to be the defining night of his career where he finally leveled up to a true movie star, and he ruined it in one evening. At the very least, he should serve hopefully as a cautionary tale to others about anger control, anger management. It's just wow. We'll see what SAG decides. We'll see. I don't know if there would be I don't know how long the suspension would be. And some of you, Dre Film says that his star rose. Some people are really ride or die with this, and I can see where people are coming from. I think people have very eloquently explained themselves on social media, which is hard to do because you only get so many characters. But it's just very difficult. Jose says, so Ezra should get help and Will should get anger management. I don't know what's going on with Will Smith. I think it's much deeper than anybody knows. And I also want to point out, before we move on to the final story, that I think that it's true, as some people have pointed out, don't underestimate the factor that Scientology might be in here. Jada Pinkett Smith has been involved with Scientology in the past. I don't know if she's currently a Scientologist, but I know that creates very, very odd and scary family dynamics. Because as you might recall, Nicole Kidman, when she and Tom Cruise got divorced, she was quite shocked that their adopted children, who are Scientologists, stopped talking to her. And she lost her entire family, but she was luckily able to start a new one with Keith Urban. But, so I don't know if that's a factor there. Toon Limkin says, I've lost all respect for him. Took him 20 seconds to walk up there and commit battery, and even longer than that to make an abysmal awards acceptance speech. Yeah. It's really a difficult situation. Gilberto, some people have said Will Smith is also a Scientologist. I don't know what their involvement is with the church. But, I think you have to keep that in mind as well. Chris, I did see Will Smith's mother's statement, who said she's never seen him like that. I too. I think everybody is on the same page. And And I think that's wonderful that she supported her son. And his sister, too, I saw in the article. Irwin, Scientology is huge in Hollywood. And the fact that a cult has such a death grip on an industry, I don't like when people say bad things about Hollywood as a whole, but that's not a great look for Hollywood. I wish that they would take care of that. Oddly Specific says, Jada and Will have publicly stated it wasn't cheating, but they have an open relationship. They have both vocally denied that they have any ties with Scientology. Hey Juan, thanks for joining. Audra, I think that I'm glad you mentioned that, and I think it's important to hear them, but I think that their actions don't match that statement. So, it's just very difficult. And I really wish that this would be fixed. I feel it's a shocking situation. All right, so that's the second story of the day. The third story of the day, boom baby, is that this is a much less dramatic one. Gillian Anderson has signed a Netflix. We'll do a Ask Me Anything after this. Gillian Anderson has signed a Netflix deal. Her production company has a first look for series and movies. I'm very excited to see what she'll do. It's rare to see an actor make a comeback like this. She, of course, is famous for her work on The X-Files. It made her a household name. She and David Duchovny, he can't bring his career back either. Maybe you should call her up and say, put me in one of your projects. People would love for us to be reunited. He is in The Bubble, which premieres on Netflix on Friday. But yes, she has made such an amazing comeback on the service. She not only stars or co-stars in Sex Education, which has its 4th season coming up, but she, of course, played an astoundingly good... It's hard to outshine Meryl Streep, but Gillian Anderson managed to do it on The Crown. And she won an Emmy, a SAG Award, a Critics' Choice Award, and also a Golden Globe back when it was cool. Back when it was okay to win one. But that's just phenomenal. Very, very cool. And as I said, I'm excited to see what she does at the service on Netflix. All right. Also, by the way, she has a Showtime project coming up. Maybe she scared them. She's going to be in the First Lady series, which I'm definitely watching. I'm so excited about this. Where she plays Eleanor Roosevelt. Michelle Pfeiffer plays Lady Bird Johnson, who, of course, started the Alcoholics Anonymous clinics. She's, I believe, have her name. And then Viola Davis is playing Michelle Obama. It's going to be real good. I'm renewing my show. I churned the Showtime, and I'll be renewing for that show. All right, so those are the 3 stories of the day. It is 1:20, and so I will talk to you until, let's do 1:28. I have something, I have a Zoom at 1:30, so let's do it to 1:28. That's right, Dogomania. Chun, 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 baby. Trisha says, doesn't Will own a Disney and ABC family-friendly company? I don't know if he has his own company, Trisha, and there has been discussions I've heard of people in the industry wondering what's going to happen with that company, because they have had a lot of deals lately. I mean, Bel Air is a big hit. Ivan says, what are your thoughts about the 76% Rotten Tomatoes score on Moon Knight? Well, I got to tell you, I am one of the Rotten Tomatoes for that. It gave me no joy. I was quite sad to have to do that. Hey, Wade Llewellyn. Because the first episode's so good, but I had to give it a Rotten Tomato. And I was surprised, to see that other people had given it Rotten Tomatoes as well. Because, I think, you never know which way things are going to go with some of that kind of entertainment. So I think the fact that it's lower than it would be for usual just goes to show you that, it's got problems. Some people in the comments on my Moon Knight review were like, other people liked it, Grace. And that's great. But I'm not the only one who did not think it was stellar, because you can see Rotten Tomatoes, and a number of those other Rotten Tomatoes are from, top critics. Barbie, when am I seeing movies? I'm seeing Morbius tomorrow, and the embargo lifts at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the evening. And then I'm seeing Sonic on Saturday afternoon, and they didn't tell me when the embargo is, so I imagine it lifts before then. So I will probably review that maybe on Sunday or Monday, because, Saturday's supposed to be my day off, man. And then let's see here. Let's see, who asked me that question? Dark Knight, I did see the Ozark season 4 part 2 trailer. It was stunning. When Ruth shot that guy point blank, I was like, Ruth, you're so badass. I love it. But it looked dark. I mean, they know it's their final season, so they can really they don't have to try and hedge their bets. So I'm super excited about it. And Jennifer Escalona, I did see the new Top Gun trailer. I'm sorry I didn't react to it, but I have just too much going on today. I'm doing a Better Nate Than Ever review, which is going to go up this afternoon. Love that movie. I thought the Top Gun trailer was excellent. I thought it was surprisingly strong. I was like, that looks pretty darn good. And I was surprised at what a good job they did recapturing the crazy, zany, cheesy vibe of the original. I was like, whoa. All right, so let's see here. Sean, I will be reviewing The Northman. I'm trying to review Ambulance, but I can't because I have the press screening is when I have a family birthday. So I'm kind of like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might instead review Everything Everywhere all at once. Max says, just wanted to say thank you for being so welcoming to all of us and making our days. You're getting me through a really tough time in college right now. Oh, Max, that's so sweet of you. And I'm sorry to hear you're having a rough time, but you should just know that I'm not only here for you, but everyone here is here for you. And this is a great place for you to come, be yourself, talk about stuff that you love. Don't let that stuff get you down. When I was growing up, my mother would always tell me about the ruler of life. And she would be like, look at how small, like each inch was a decade. And it's like, look how small this is compared to the whole rest of the ruler. So, don't let things feel like they're everything, your whole life at one time. See, look at all the love you're getting, Max. I love it. Sean, I did see the headline also about Victoria Pendretti getting a Hulu series. I'm so happy for her. Although a lot of TV series lately are the same. Hey, JTM Beckman. Like, for instance, I realized the other day, I was like, wait a minute. The Dropout, Inventing Anna, and We Crashed are all like about charlatan entrepreneurs. That's like, but they're all true stories. I'm like, how did everybody fall for 3 different, con artists? Hey, Eli. Look, Max said thank you to everybody. So he saw all your nice comments. That's great. You guys are wonderful. Casey says, I always forget to use my comment, so I'll just use it this time to say I'm so sick of the cold weather in New York City. I hear you, Casey. It's going to be 70 on Thursday. I'm pretty excited about it. It's also supposed to rain, though. But yeah, I think the real problem is the whiplash, that one minute it's really warm, and then the next it goes back to winter. You're like, make up your mind. I haven't heard anything about the Green Lantern show lately, and I haven't heard anything about Nova. Barbie, I spoke to that in my review. I always love seeing your picture, Barbie. You look so much fun. Trisha, I am excited about Only Murders in the Building Season 2. I can't believe how fast they made it. It's going to be great. Britt, it's way too early for 2023 Oscar predictions, but I appreciate your enthusiasm. Steven, I will definitely watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 12. Oh my gosh, you reminded me. Here's something crazy. Will Smith's first wife, who he's still very close with, is joining the next season of Beverly Hills, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And I was wondering when she was cast if Will Smith would show up. I don't know what's going to happen now. I'm sure that Andy Cohen is like, why does Fortune smile so friendly? Why does Fortune smile so much on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? First you had the whole thing with Erica Jane and that whole criminal situation. And now you have Will Smith's very close first wife. It's insanity. But it's going to be good. I'm excited. That's such a great show. They did Denise Richards dirty, Lloyd. I feel bad. I'm still upset about it. I'll never forgive Lisa Rinna. Never. Eli, I'm really trying to see it soon. I'm definitely going to try and review it. Oh, Justin Bernstein says, any updates on Ta-Nehisi Coates' Superman project? I actually do have an update. That project is still alive. They're still working on it, and he's supposed to have a script handed in the next few months. So they're still working on that. So that could still indeed happen. Yes, that's adorable. I'm late. What was the tea? I appreciate you. Trisha says, Grace, do you think Disney will keep Simu Liu? He was amazing at the Oscars and he is becoming a movie star. You know, I would agree with that. Good for Simu Liu. He just keeps going. He just keeps going. And so, and they won't release any Marvel movies. So he's like, it's not me. Maybe it's not me. Maybe I'm just the scapegoat. Mika, I don't know what's going on with the Thor 4 trailer. Everybody's just as confused within the scoop game as you guys are. I don't know if it's going to be delayed, but I will say that it's pretty suspicious. And also, they are reshooting. They're doing some reshoots right now. Quite frankly, I have to tell you, I would not be against them moving the movie for two reasons. One, I have a family event also at around that time. So it's real inconvenient for me that the movie opens then. Then the other reason is that I feel it'll be a much better date to open up the beginning of August since Black Adam moved. I mean, that's just sitting there. They put Super Pets there. And I think Thor in the Guardians of the Galaxy original spot and Suicide Squad, you know, that first weekend of August, that's a beautiful release date for the right type of movie. And I'd like to see Thor move to that spot, both for business reasons and for my own personal reasons. Oh, Tarlos, that's your birthday? Oh, that's awesome. Well, then now I feel bad. I hope you get it for your birthday. Oh, it's 1:29. I must go. You guys are so much fun. I just love talking to you. You guys are just the absolute best. I have such a good time with these live streams. There will not be a live stream tomorrow. Probably not for the rest of the week because I have a lot of videos to make. And it's a lot of family stuff going on for me. But also I'm doing a live stream watch along tonight at 5:30 and one tomorrow at 3 a.m. So there's still plenty of live fun for us to enjoy. All right. Oh, Gilberto, I'm so glad you had a good time. See you soon, everybody. See you at 5:30 if you want to watch. And I've never seen Death on the Nile before, so you'll be getting my first reaction to the movie, good or bad. All right. Bye, everybody. See ya.